for approval of charges and its rates pursuant to General Laws, Chapter 164, Section 94, and General Laws, Chapter 165, Section 2, and 220 CMR Section 5. My name is David Beal, and I am the hearing officer assigned by the Commission to this docket. Joining me tonight is Cecile Fraser, one of the department's commissioners. Also with me this evening is Kevin Branley, Director of the Department's Rates and Revenue Requirements Division. On June 15, 2017, Milford Water Company, hereafter Milford Water Company, or the company, filed a petition with the Department of Public Utilities, hereafter the Department, for approval of a general increase in its rates. The Department has docketed this matter as DPU 17-107 and has suspended the effective date of the proposed rate increase until September 1st, 2018, in order to investigate the propriety of the company's request. The company last received a general rate increase in August of 2013. The company is requesting a change in water service rates designed to recover an annual increase in revenue of $1,895,733, representing a 29.6% increase in annual revenue. If the company's petition is approved as presented, a typical residential customer in Milford using 2,000 cubic feet per quarter would receive an increase of approximately $34.35 per quarter, or 29.6%. Bill impacts will vary from the average based on volume use and class of customer. Additionally, the company proposes to revise its tariffs to allow the company to bill all customers on either a monthly or quarterly basis. Presently, the company bills its customers on a quarterly basis. In this proceeding, the Attorney General of the Commonwealth has intervened on behalf of ratepayers. Representing the Attorney General are John Geary and Joseph Dorfler. The Attorney General has previously been recognized as a full party in this proceeding. If you have specific questions for the Attorney General, please save them until after we conclude the public hearing. Additionally, the town of Milford has filed a petition for leave to intervene in this matter. On August 1st, 2017, I allowed the petition to intervene upon finding that the town of Milford demonstrated it would be substantially and specifically affected by this matter. At this time, may I have the appearance of counsel for the company?
Appearing on behalf of Milford Water Company, Rothwell, the law firm Rich May, Boston.
Thank you. May I have the appearance of counsel for the Attorney General?
On behalf of the Attorney General, Assistant Attorney General Joseph Dorfler.
And may I have the appearance of counsel for the town of Milford?
Yes, for the town of Milford, Special Counsel Gerald Moody.
Thank you. For the record, the company has provided the return of service and proof of publication, which appears to be in order, and I accept it as such. There are two types of hearings that the department holds in a case like this. The first type is a public hearing, which is what we are holding here tonight. The purpose of tonight's hearing is to allow members of the public to express comments or concerns regarding the company's petition in order to assist the department in its investigation. The process is designed to ensure that all sides get a fair hearing and that members of the public have a full opportunity to make their views known to the department. The public hearing is not an opportunity to question the company on its petition, nor is it meant to be an opportunity to question the department on how it will conduct this investigation. If there are procedural questions on how this investigation will proceed, I will be available after the public hearing tonight to discuss those procedural questions. In addition, the company will have representatives available to answer your individual questions after the hearing. Please save any specific questions for Milford Water Company's representatives until we conclude tonight's public hearing. The second type of hearing that the department holds in a case like this is an evidentiary hearing, in which the parties present both testimonial and documentary evidence, both of which are subject to questioning. The evidentiary hearings will be held later this month and will be conducted at the department's offices in Boston. There are two types of presentations you may make this evening. One is called a sworn statement, and the other is an unsworn statement. The department will give equal treatment to both statements. However, the law provides that a statement may only be made part of the factual record if it is a sworn statement made under oath. If the statement is not made under oath, it cannot be part of the evidentiary record. When you come forward to speak, please step to the podium up front, and I will administer the oath, unless you let me know that you would prefer to make an unsworn statement. I will respect your preference in the matter. After hearing from all members of the public wishing to speak, I will adjourn the public hearing. We have placed sign-up sheets outside the door of the room for you to sign up and indicate whether you want to offer testimony today. Because this is a public hearing and an important source of information for the department, we want to be sure that we hear from all of those who wish to speak. I ask that each speaker keep his or her comments brief, to try to avoid repetition as best as possible, and to be mindful that there are other speakers who wish to comment. I prefer not to interrupt anyone who may be speaking, but if it looks like we may be running short on time, I may need to set a time limit for a speaker. I will add that the department is also accepting written comments in this docket until the close of business on Friday, April 6th, my mistake. If there are any comments you are unable to make due to time constraints, or because you prefer not to speak, you may submit comments in writing to the department. If you have written comments to submit today, I have placed an envelope near where you sign in. The directions on how to file comments with the department are also available at the sign-in desk. As you see, we have a court reporter here to transcribe your comments. Please keep in mind that the court reporter cannot transcribe comments accurately if more than one person is speaking at a time, or if a person is not speaking clearly. Therefore, I ask that only one person speak at a time and that background noise be kept to a minimum. At this time, would the company like to make a statement?
Thank you, Mr. Hearing Officer. I'll make a very brief statement as we know the purpose. Can everybody hear me? Shall I try to get the mic here? Okay, thank you. As indicated previously, I'm Eric Rothwell from the law firm Rich May. With me this evening is David Condry, the general manager of the company. And first, let me state the company's appreciation to everyone here tonight. Mr. Condry and I will listen to all the comments carefully, and we hope to be able to address any concerns as appropriate. As the hearing officer has indicated, the purpose of tonight's hearing is to hear from you, the company's customers, and accordingly I'll keep my comments very brief. And also, as the hearing officer indicated, to the extent anyone has specific questions, Mr. Condry and I will stay after the hearing concludes and be able to address any individual questions at that time. Regarding the company's proposed increase in rates, I'd like to assure everyone that such requests are made only after a thorough investigation of the company's financial status and requirements. The company tries to contain costs and put off filing for requesting new rates as long as possible. Here, the company's last rate increase was about 5 years ago. Since that time, the company has continued to make significant additions to its system, including, among a number of other things, replacement of lead service pipes. All of this is done to maintain its ability to provide high-quality, reliable water service. Also, over this 5-year period, numerous other cost increases have occurred. And as a result, the company's earnings have been quite a bit short of what the department has previously found to be appropriate in the last rate case for the company. The company has made significant efforts to contain costs, and those are outlined in the company's filings with the department. But nevertheless, a rate increase is now needed for the company to be able to continue to provide safe and reliable service. Fortunately, with the recent federal tax cut, the company has calculated that it requires a slightly lower increase than has been previously indicated, and that will be further reviewed through the remainder of this proceeding, among other things. And I just finally note that the amount of the requested increase is in the range of the increase that a town report suggested would have to be imposed should the town end up purchasing the water company. So again, we're happy to answer any questions individuals may have afterwards, and thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you. Would the Attorney General like to make a statement?
Good evening. My name is Joe Dorfler, and I am an Assistant Attorney General in the Attorney General's office. We are here tonight because Milford Water Company has asked to increase its water rates. Milford Water Company's last rate increase was approved in 2013. You may recall in that proceeding, the Milford Water Company was found to have subpar management practices for giving work to affiliate companies without proper bidding and by failing to provide least cost service to its customers. In fact, the Milford Water Company's performance in terms of water quality was so bad last time, the DPU only allowed the company to collect 9.2% return on equity. To put it simply, in that case, the company had failed its public service obligation. Now, the Milford Water Company is back and wants to raise its rates and collected 10.75% ROE, return on equity. In this case, the Attorney General will be looking hard at the company's practices to ensure that the company has dramatically improved its service and that it actually needs more money to operate safely. The Attorney General is here to inform the customers of the Milford Water Company that she intends to ensure that the customers of the company receive the safest possible water at least cost water service. The safest possible least cost water service. Thank you for allowing me to speak to you this evening, and I'll be available after this hearing to address any questions you may have.
Thank you. Would counsel for the town of Milford like to make an opening statement?
Yes, thank you. My name is Gerald Moody, acting as special counsel for the town of Milford in this case, and as that many of citizens of Milford should realize, we always intervene in water company rate proceedings whenever they come, and we act now together with the Attorney General to make sure that everything the company has submitted is carefully reviewed, is accurate, and to make sure that the costs ultimately imposed on the ratepayers are justified. So we will monitor everything, again, together with the Attorney General's office and with the DPU working on this to ensure that that happens. Just one other point I'd like to make for those who may be watching and be a little confused. This is not related to the still ongoing efforts of the town to acquire the water company. That, as many people realize, is now pending before the Supreme Judicial Court under our 1881 statute. That goes forward on a separate track from this. The water company, notwithstanding our efforts in that regard, has the right to seek a rate increase if they deem it appropriate, and we have thus the obligation to make sure that any rate increase that might come now or any time before such acquisition might take place is fair and equitable, and most importantly, fair to the ratepayers, and that's what we're going to be doing. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now continue with the public hearing. The department traditionally accords elected officials the first opportunity to speak. Are there any members of the legislature here in attendance who wish to make a statement at this time? Thank you. Please come up. And for the record, could you please state and spell your name?
Thank you. Brian Murray, B-R-I-A-N, M-U-R-R-A-Y, State Representative, the 10th Worcester District.
Thank you, Representative. You may proceed.
Thank you. And thank you for being here and having this hearing in the community. As Special Counsel previously alluded to, the town is in the process of negotiating a purchase of the water company, and I'd just like to briefly outline some of the steps that have been done legislatively to allow that to occur. Specifically, there have been three bills that have been signed into law to allow that proceeding to occur, at least at the state level. And the first was the ability for the town to appoint a three-person a board of water commissioners to govern the entity and oversee the entity at the time that the municipality would take over the entity. The second bill that was signed into law in February, as a matter of fact, was basically an authorization for the actual transfer of assets from the Milford Water Company to the town of Milford. And the third bill that has been signed into law, also February 12, 2018, is to provide the town of Milford the option to borrow up to 40 years for the purchase of the company. So I say this to put into context, I think, where everyone is at right now in terms of a rate increase. The other context I think that we need to look at, and it was alluded to previously, were the prior increases. And as stated, the last increase was in 2013. At that point, rates increased approximately 50%. The amount that the water company had sought at that time was approximately 83%. The prior case to that was the company seeking 49% increase in rates, and in 2011, I believe there was a settlement with an approximate 33% increase being allowed. And I think it is significant to point out, really for both sides, both the utility and the municipality, that those two prior cases had a two-year gap, and now we are 5 years out since the most recent increase. It's unfortunate, I think, that both parties have not been able to come forward on the negotiated purchase. I think that would change the financial picture in terms of operation of the utility once the municipality, I think, takes over the water company. Hopefully that will occur. And I understand that it's certainly reasonable for the company to come forth after a 5-year period to request a rate increase and certainly a rate review. And it's incumbent upon, I think, the Department of Public Utilities to hear all of the evidence, to really scrutinize the request. But, keep in mind that although we're dealing with percentages and numbers, what it really boils down to is people. And it's really increased cost to the ratepayers in the town of Milford. Milford is not a particularly affluent community. Any type of increase like that is detrimental to the ratepayers. So I would please ask the department to closely scrutinize all filings from the water company and certainly look at the reasonableness of those requests and keep in mind the residents and the ratepayers of the town of Milford. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Representative. Are there any other members of the legislature here in attendance who would like to make a statement? Seeing none, are there any elected municipal officials who would like to make a statement tonight? Please state your name and spell it for the record.
My name is Michael Walsh, M-I-C-H-A-E-L-W-A-L-S-H. I'm a member of the Milford Board of Selectmen.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Representative Murray makes a great point that Milford is a great community, and I want to thank all of you that are here tonight. But it's not an affluent community. And I would ask the Department of Public Utilities that to scrutinize in any decision that you make, please make sure that it's an effective decision for the taxpayers of this community. I understand that the Milford Water Company hasn't had a rate increase in 5 years. And I'm not saying that from this member of the Board of Selectmen that you don't deserve an increase. What I'm saying and what I'm asking of the Department of Public Utilities is, and I know you will, please do your research, please look at all the facts, and make sure that the decision you make for whatever the rate increase is going to be for this community is a fair, equitable, and effective rate increase for the taxpayers in this community. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any other elected municipal officials who would like to make a statement tonight? Seeing none, are there any appointed municipal officials who would like to make a statement tonight? Seeing none, we will now hear from members of the public. Nobody has signed up to speak at our sign-in sheet. However, anybody who would like to make a statement in light of these comments may please come up to the podium and make public comments. I'd also like to apologize in advance if I mispronounce your name. So if anybody wishes to speak, please come up. Seeing none, I would like to thank everyone for attending and providing comments. If there are no further matters, I will adjourn the public hearing. There being none, this public hearing is now adjourned, and we are off the record.